Thank you so much for joining this mathematics lesson. We shall be discussing a mathematics paper in preparation for the Kjsea 2025 examination, mathematics. So you're most welcome to this platform. We shall be going directly to the section 2. If you find time, you can check the section 1, which is already posted here. These are the simple questions in the section 1. Very easy for you to understand. Very easy for you to comprehend. So please take your time and check the section 1. But together, we shall be solving the section 2, which starts in number 21 for 80 marks. A school is organizing a trip for 150 learners. They hire buses that can carry or can each carry a maximum of 35 learners. How many buses are needed for the trip? So we talk about 150 learners, and the maximum learners per bus are 35. So 150 out of 35 gives a 4.286 buses. That means the number of buses that we need is going to be 5. Yeah, 5 buses. So with 5 buses now, we shall manage to carry all the learners. Because if we talk about 4 buses, and each is having a maximum of 35, then we will only manage to carry 140 learners. So the extra 10 are going to occupy the 5th bus. That is the point. So we round off to the next whole number. I know the round of rules might have been challenged by the thinking that I have applied in this question, but that's how it is supposed to be. Because when you talk about exactly 4 buses and the maximum each can carry is 35, then you will only carry 140 learners, but the total is 150. So we need a 50 bus. Nevertheless, the cost of hiring each bus is 12,000 Kenya shillings. Calculate the total cost of hiring the buses. 12,000 Kenya shillings, then 5 buses. So we need 5 times 12,000 to give us 60,000 Kenya shillings, so that we may manage to hire all the buses. Look at part C of this question. The school also budgets 80 per learner for meals during the trip. Calculate the total cost of meals for all the learners. So 80 per learner for meals. This one we multiply by 150 learners. So 80 times 150 learners to give us 12,000 Kenya shillings. That is for all the learners. So total cost. Calculate the total cost of meals for all the learners. Actually, that is the total for all the learners. They are 150 and each 80 bob. So we get 12,000 Kenya shillings. What is the total expenditure for the school trip? For the school trip, we have 12,000 for meals. Then we are also having 60,000 for the buses. So this is going to be, when we add 60,000, we're going to get 72,000. 72,000 Kenya shillings. Then part E, the same question. The school decides to charge each learner 550 for the trip. Calculate the total amount of money collected from the learners. So 550 multiplied by 150, and this is going to give us, from the learners, the school is going to collect 550 times 150 learners, 82,500. Yeah, 82,500. Then in part F, determine the profit or loss the school makes from the trip. So the school is going to collect 82,500 and it's going to spend 72,000. So it shall save, or rather, it shall make a profit of 10,500. 10,500. Okay, 10,500. So that is it. Remember, we are welcoming all the grade 9 learners to this particular platform. Remember to subscribe. Remember to share so that you may invite your friends. Let people know that in shifting grades, we are accommodating what we are calling the competency-based education. So you're most welcome together with your friends, regardless of where they are. We are doing it nationwide. So you're most welcome. Number 22. A farmer has a rectangular piece of land measuring 80 meters long and 50 meters wide. Calculate the area of the farmer's land in square meters. 80 meters long, 50 meters wide. So area being rectangular needs length times width. So length 80 and width 50. So this is going to be 4,000 meters squared. Then in part B, we are trying to calculate the perimeter of the land. For us to find perimeter, we're supposed to know that this is a rectangle. So perimeter is given by 2 length plus width. In other words, we need to add the lengths of the boundaries. So 80 plus 50. Then we multiply by 2. This gives us 260 meters. That is the total length around the rectangular piece of land. Yeah. We're having a part 2 or part C of this question that says, the farmer decides to fence the land using wire mesh. The cost of wire mesh is 150 per meter. What will be the total cost of fencing the land? What will be the total cost of fencing the land? So we need 150 Kenya shillings per meter, and we are going to fence the 260 meters. The whole perimeter shall be fenced. So we're going now to get 260 multiplied by 150. So 39,000. We should understand what is happening in this question. There are people who will start multiplying by area, yet area is square meters. But now the fencing is just along the perimeter, along the length and the width. So the meters along the length and the width is 260, and per meter, we are spending 150. So this farmer is going to spend 39,000. That's simple. Let's check part D of this. The farmer plants maize on 43% of the land and beans on the remaining part. What area of the land is planted with maize? So maize shall be planted on 43% of the total land. So the total area is it 4,000? We can just refer. Yeah, 4,000. So this is going to be 1720 meters squared. This is where maize shall be. Then the other part will be occupied by beans. So for beans, it's just the remaining area, which is going to be 4,000. And we subtract the part where beans have already occupied. Remember, that can be done with an alternative. We just use the remaining percentage. We just use the remaining percentage which is, let me just work it out. Once we've used 43%, 57% has remained. So 57% of 4,000, we get exactly the same. So we can apply this alternative and we will get the same answer. Look at part F. Look at part F. If the farmer harvests 5 kilograms of maize per square meter from the area planted with maize, what is the total mass of maize harvested in kilograms? So 5 kilograms from every square meter. Then how many square meters have been planted with maize? 17, 20. So from each square meter, we have 5 kilograms. So we need 1720 times 5, and this gives us 8600 kilograms of maize. So that is what shall be harvested. That is what shall be harvested. As we continue preparing for the Kjsea, it's good for me to bring to your attention the programs that we have for the 2025 candidates. The day school candidates are having this program, so you can join us from every Saturday for the junior school and every Sunday for the senior school students. So our number is already attached on the wall, 0704153366. Then the classes will be happening on Google Meet. These are different forums, which is going to be very interactive. Very interactive. So you just join us and you get to get the best from us. Interactive classes where you can ask questions, where you can respond to questions. Yeah, as we continue growing together. Look at the one-term ahead program, whereby during the December, November holiday, we shall be covering 2026 term 1 work. The target group is going to be the grade 7s, 8s, and 9s, and also the form 3s and 4s of next year. Therefore, the work that you're supposed to cover in term 1, we shall cover it over the holiday. When you open schools, it shall be a landslide for you. It will be very smooth for you because you will already have an exposure of what you're going to cover at school. So please reach out through the same number for registration. So thank you so much for supporting our programs. We request you to subscribe to our platform here, Shifting Grades Online School. Otherwise, thank you so much for the continued support. Number 23. The question says that a shopkeeper buys 200 packets of juice at 25 Kenya shillings per packet. What's the total cost of the juice packets? 200 packets, each at 25. We shall then spend 5,000 Kenya shillings. Yeah, 5,000 Kenya shillings. Then in part B, we are told that the shopkeeper sells each packet of juice at 40 Kenya shillings. What is the total revenue from selling all the juice packets? The juice packets are 200 and each is being sold at 40 Kenya shillings. So how much is this shopkeeper going to reap from all of them? This is 8,000 Kenya shillings. And in part C, we calculate the profit made by the shopkeeper. How do we get profit? We need the selling price minus the buying price of the items. They were all bought at 5,000, but now the shopkeeper is selling at 8,000. Therefore, they have realized 3,000 as the profit. Yeah, 3,000 as the profit. So profit is simply the difference between the selling price of an item and the buying price of the same item. Look at part D. The shopkeeper offers a discount of 10% on the selling price for customers who buy more than 10 packets at once. If a customer buys 15 packets of juice, what will be the discounted price per packet? So we are told that there is 10% on the selling price for customers who buy more than 10% packets. So you see, 10%, we receive 10% of 15 packets. So 15 packets, and each packet, okay, we need the discounted price actually, not the discount itself. So this particular customer is going to pay 90% per packet instead of the full 100% because of the 10% discount that they shall be enjoying. Yeah, that way. So we need 90% of 15, and each packet is sold at 40. So 90%, we multiply by 15, then times 40. So we are going to pay 550. So what will be the discounted price per packet? So you see, we are having 540 paid. They are 15 packets. So how much has been paid per packet? We divide this by 15. This gives us 36 Kenya shillings. That means now per packet, we shall be talking about, instead of 40, they have paid 36. So the discount is now Kenya shillings. The discount in this particular case shall be, the discount, sorry, I'm trying to adjust my screen to accommodate every information. So look at what we are working out in this case. 10% profit is being enjoyed. So 90% will be paid for the 15 packets, each at 40. So we will pay 540. So that means per packet then we have paid 36. And each packet was to be sold at 40. So it means in this case, the discount which has been offered now is going to be 4 Kenya shillings. Yeah, 4 Kenya shillings in this particular case. Look at part E. What will be the total amount the customer pays for the 15 packets? That one we've already worked out. We are going to pay 36 times 15 packets, giving us 540. This has already been worked out. Then at part F, as we wind up, the shopkeeper also sells bread. The cost of a loaf of bread is 30 bob, and the selling price is 36. What is the percentage profit the shopkeeper makes on each loaf of bread? So the profit itself shall be 36 minus 30, giving us 6 Kenya shillings. So how do we get what we call percentage profit? So percentage profit, I have to write this one very carefully. Percentage profit is usually given by profit out of the buying price times 100. So profit out of buying price times 100. So 6 over 30 times 100, giving us 20%. So we have 20% profit. 20% profit. Yeah. 20% profit. We proceed to question number 24. given that the matrices A equals to 2, 3, this is 1. I'm sorry for this. This is a typing error. It should be inside the brackets. 2, 3 for 1. Then B is 5, 1, 0, 3. Find the matrix A plus B. So for us to add matrices, 2, 3, 4, 1. Then we have 5, 1, 0, 3. Then we need to add elements which are in corresponding positions. If it is, excuse me, if it's 2, we add it to 5 because they are on the first row, the first column. So 2 plus 5 giving us 7. Then we add 3 and 1 giving us 4. Then we add 4 and 0 giving us 4. Then we add 1 and 3 giving us 4. So this is now the added. That's what you get after adding. So that is it. Number 25. This is on probability. We check it together. Question says that a bag contains 5 red, 3 blue, and 2 green balls. A ball is drawn at random. What is the probability that the ball is not red? Probability not red. This can be approached in 2 different ways. One, we can say that probability not red means probability blue and probability green. Yeah. When we talk about probability not red, then it means the other probabilities. So this is going to be probability blue, which is 3 out of a total of 10, and means multiplication. And means multiplication, which gives us now a green, which is 2 out of 10. So this is going to be 6 out of 100, and it can simplify to 3 out of 50. Otherwise, we can say that probability not red means 1 minus probability red. So not red would be 1 minus probability red. This is 5. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. This becoming half. Not really, not really, not really. Yeah, so please forgo this one, forgo this particular approach. Just forgo it kindly. So we are already at the answer, which is a 3 out of 50. Probability not red means probability blue and green. Blue and green is the only probability that gives us no red. Look at 26 in the same paper. A trader exchanged 20,000 Kenya shillings for US dollars at the rate of 120 Kenya shillings equals to $1. How many US dollars did the trader receive? How many US dollars the trader receive. So 120 Kenya shillings equals to $1. What about 20,000 Kenya shillings? 1 times 20,000 out of 120. So it shall be 20,000 divided by 120, giving us 167. Okay, 166.67 US dollars. That way. In number 27, the question is simply saying that a rectangular tank measures 2 meters by 1.5 meters by 1 meter. Calculate the capacity of the tank in liters. Capacity of the tank. This means we first get volume, length times width times height. 2 times 1.5 times 1. This will give us 3.0 meters cubed. Then we'll say that 1 meter cubed is equivalent to 1,000 liters, and it has already been provided here, the relation. So what about 3 meters cubed? It shall be 3 times 1,000 out of 1, giving us 3,000 liters. Yeah, 3,000 liters. 3,000 liters. Sorry for that interruption. I hope you can still see my screen. Yes. Just a minute. We are getting back. We are getting back. Yes. You can see our program here on Google Meet, a very interactive session. Please enroll. Please enroll. If you are a continuing learner, kindly enroll for our programs. Shifting Grades Online School, the best home of academics. This is the home of academics. Maybe now check. Yeah, I can see the paper is now stable. So we are supposed to convert to liters by multiplying that way. Have it as 3,000 liters. Then in number 28, the question says, a cylinder has radius 7 centimeters and height 10. Calculate the total surface of the cylinder. Okay, if we assume that this cylinder is closed, then we will have, no, a cylinder is usually this way. So it has 2 circles, one at the base, another one at the top. Then we have a curved surface. So we will talk about the curved surface first. The curved surface is usually given by, we have to get the perimeter up here, which is 2 pi r, then times h. So we need 2 times pi, 3.142, according to the instructions. That is the pi you should use. A radius of 7 and a height of 10. So you get the curved surface that way. 2 times 3.142, then multiplied by 7, then times 10. This gives us 439.88 square centimeters. Yeah, that's done. Then the circular parts, we have top and bottom. So for the top and bottom, we'll need pi r squared. But now that they are 2, then multiplied by 2. So we shall talk about pi r, and squared means times r again, then times 2. So this shall be 3.142 times 7, then times 2. This gives us 307. Those who are using their calculators wisely, they will get these values, 916 square centimeters. Then now we can talk about the total surface area, which will be given by top and bottom plus the curved for 39.88. So this shall be 747.796. 796. That's 796. See? So we are now having the total surface area. When it comes to the questions on a measurement, I would encourage learners to ensure that they master all the formula, when to apply them and how to apply them. Master how to substitute at every level in your questions. Now we have to proceed to the next question. Look at what you're being told, that a mass of 1500 grams occupies a volume of 500 cubic centimeters. Calculate the density of the substance. You know, we're supposed to know that density equals to mass over volume, or rather mass per unit volume is the definition. So if we have 1500 in 500, then how much do we have in every meter? In every meter cubed. And this is going to be 3 grams per cubic centimeter. 3 grams per cubic centimeter. You're supposed to proceed to next. The next question says what? We find the approximate value of 50 to 3 significant figures. So 50 is already 2 significant figures. So when we add 0.0, it becomes a 0. It now becomes a 3 significant figure number. Remember, 0 is usually significant if it is found between 2 significant figures and if it is at the end of a decimal number. So a 0 at the end of a decimal number is significant. 0 found in between significant figures is also significant. So that is it. Number 31 now. Express the logarithm of 1000 to base 10 as a simple number. Therefore, as a simple number, this is base 10. So we shall check. We're going to check the expression of 1000 to base 10. By 10, we get 100. And by 10, we get 100. Okay, we get 10 now. So you can see 1000 is equal to 10 power 3. And what is the logarithm of a number? It is going to be the power into which 10 has been raised. Therefore, the log to base 10 of 1000 equals to 3. Yeah, that's how we express it as a simple number. Let's look at the question number 33. Solve 32, that is. Solve the simultaneous equations. 3x plus 2y equals to 12 and x minus y equals to 3. We can use several methods here. One, we can use the elimination method. And we can also use the substitution method. Actually, substitution is even easier because from what we are having, we can see that the coefficients of x and y in the second equation are just 1. Therefore, it would be very easy for us to express x in terms of y, then we substitute. But let's just attempt all the methods. First, we can say that the first equation, which is 3x plus 2y equals to 12, this can be multiplied by the coefficient of x in equation 2, which is just 1. Then equation 2, which is x minus y equals to 3. We multiply it by the coefficient. Okay, this is equal to 3. We multiply it by 3. So the coefficient of x in equation 1 is 3. Now that we have exchanged the coefficients of x from the two equations, then we will be able to eliminate x. The first equation remains the way it is. Then the second one now, after multiplying by 3, shall be 3x minus 3y equals to 9. Then now we are supposed to subtract corresponding terms from the two equations. If we subtract corresponding terms, we're going to have 3x minus 3x giving us 0. Then 2y minus negative 3 becomes plus 3, and that is 5y equals to, when we take 12 minus 9, we'll get 3. So the value of y is 3 out of 5. If 5y equals to 3, then 3 is, if 5y equals to 3, then y equals to 3 over 5. Then now we can find x from any of the equations. After we find x, we substitute the known value of y. So to equation 2, we say x minus y. So x minus the value of y equals to 3. And how shall we remain with x? By taking 3 minus 3 over 5, giving us 2 and 2 over 5. Yeah, 2 and 2 over 5. So we have x and we have y. Let's check elimination method and whether it will give us the same. That's elimination, sorry. We check substitution. Substitution. Okay, substitution method. From equation 2, x equals to 3 plus y. So equation 1 can be rewritten now as 3 plus y, then plus 2y equals to 12. This is 9 plus 3y plus 2y equals to 12. This is going to be 5y when we group terms. Then 12 minus 9 giving us 3. The value of y shall be 3 out of 5. And now we can take it back to this. We can take it back here and say, for us to get the value of x, sorry, just a minute. We're trying to manage the screen here. Yeah, it's working. So x equals to 3 plus 3 over 5, giving us 3 and 3 over 5. The first equation, there must be something we made wrong. Remember, when we were solving the first one, we are supposed to understand these. We're supposed to understand that when we take 2 over 5, okay, 3 over 5 to the other side, it should be added and not subtracted. So it should give us 3 and 3 over 5. 3 and 3 over 5. So from the two approaches, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting the same answers. Yeah, from the two we are getting the same answers. Look at this. Number 33 now on statistics or simply on data handling. On data handling, what are they telling us to do? The number of learners selected to represent their school in various ball games was recorded as shown in the table below. We have the game. This one is, the game. Football, netball, volleyball, handball, and basketball. Number of learners. For football, 18, netball, 12, volleyball, 10, handball, 9, basketball, 11. Represent the number of learners selected for each game on a pie chart. On a pie chart. So a pie chart is otherwise called a circle graph. And that is what we are going to establish this time. So we are supposed to come up with a circle. It's what you call a circle graph. We come up with a circle first. Yeah, circle like that. Then now with the circle, we identify the center of the circle. Yeah, that way. Then now we are supposed to represent every number using a given angle that corresponds to the number. So let's check the total number of learners here. Total number of learners shall be 18, 12, 10, 9, 11, 30, plus 30. I think we're getting 60 learners. Please confirm with me. Confirm with me. 60. Exactly 60. So the total number of learners is going to be represented. It's going to be represented by, the total number is represented by the total angle at the center of every circle, which is 360. So 360 represents 60 learners. Then how much angle do we need to represent 18? So it should be 18 over 60 times 360. This is going to be 18 by 360 over 60, 108. This is for football. And then the other one shall be 12 out of total 60 times 360. So 12 72 degrees for this particular match, which is netball. The other sport or the other is volleyball, 10 out of total 60 learners multiplied by 360. So the angle that we need here is going to be 60 degrees. This is for volleyball. The other sport is going to be 9 handball. So 9 out of 360 times 3. Okay, out of total. 9 learners out of 60 times 360. This will give us what? This will give us exactly 54 degrees. So these 54 degrees are for what? Handball. H. And finally, we are having 11 for basketball. 11 over total 60 times 360. What fraction of the circle is occupied by 11? So 11 over 60 by 360. This gives us 66 degrees. This is basketball. So we have all of them listed there. So now we use our protractor very well I'm first doing a straight line here. Very straight line like that. Then now, standing at the center of the circle, I will measure the first angle to represent football, which is 108. So 108 to 90, we talk about 108, which is at that point. So I just produce a line. Produce a line. 108 degrees. This is football. The next is going to be 72, which is for netball. So I just measure successive 72 degrees. So I add 72 to what we are already having. So that is it. I measure 72. This is going to be 72 degrees for netball. Then from there, I'm supposed to measure 60 for volleyball. 60 for volleyball. I measure 60. 60 shall represent volleyball. Yeah, this is 60 volleyball. Then from there, we will have 54 for handball. So I measure 54 for handball. So 54 degrees for handball. 54 is at this point. So I'm now connecting this one to the center. Yeah, 54 degrees for handball. Then automatically, because they should add up to 360, then the remaining one is automatically, this one you don't need to measure anything, 66 for basketball. Yeah, for basketball, 66. That one is so automatic. So that's how we do the PA chart, or rather the circle graph. Very smooth one, already done. We look at a question in number 34. What is the question telling us? That a line passes through the point 2, 3, and has a gradient of 4. Find the equation of, the equation in the form y equals to mx plus c. Hence, draw the line on the graph. So let's find the equation. We express the gradient of 4 using the provided coordinate and another coordinate, xy. How do we get gradient? Change in y. Y minus the y coordinate is a 3. Out of change in x, x minus the x coordinate is a 2. So 4 is over 1. We cross multiply. Y minus 3 equals to 4x minus 8. So y equals to 4x minus 5. Yeah, 4x minus 5. Very true. 4x minus 5. According to this equation, we can tell that the y-intercept of the line is -5. The y-intercept is -5. If the y-intercept is -5, then we can draw the line. We can now draw the line, ensuring that on the y-axis we pass through -5, and we also pass through coordinate 2, 3. Coordinate 2, 3. So let me draw the line. Not two lines or two coordinates are usually enough for a straight line. That is the y-axis. This one is the x-axis. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Then -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. You see, it should be flowing all the way to beyond -5. Then here we can have a negative, negative, negative. 1, 2, 3, 4. Coordinate 2, 3. That's the first coordinate, 2, 3, which is here. And coordinate y-axis should be cut at that point. So when the two coordinates are connected using a very straight line, we will have represented the line graphically. You don't need a lot of coordinates to plot a straight line. You don't need a lot. So it's already here. This is the line that we needed, the red one. Y equals to 4x minus 5. So we have the line already represented. The line is already represented. Very simple work. Very simple work. We now have to proceed, right? We have to proceed. Look at this. Represent the inequality 2x plus y less than or equal to -6 on the graph. Hence, give one value that suits the inequality. One value that suits the inequality. So what you need to do first, is to come up with some coordinates where this inequality shall pass. In other terms, we don't draw inequalities, we draw borderlines. So we need line 2x plus y gives 6. That's the line. So we can start by coming up with intercepts. When x is 0, what shall be y? 6. When y is 0, what shall be x? 3. Because we just need to substitute x in the equation and y becomes 6. We substitute y as a 0 and x becomes 3. So these are enough coordinates now. These are enough coordinates to come up with a line. So I'm going to do the vertical axis, then the horizontal axis. Then we see how the inequality shall look like. And of course, we shall follow all the rules about plotting inequalities. Uh-huh. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -1, -2, -1, -2. Those are enough values. So we are passing it 0, 6. So we are passing it 0, 6, and we are also passing it 3, 0. So that the points on the Cartesian plane now. Those are the points on the Cartesian plane. When you check the inequality, because of the sign pole less than or equal to, just this one, less than or equal to, supposed to be a complete line to represent the inequality. So this inequality will be represented by a complete line. Going to be a complete line. 2x plus y equals to 6. That's the line which represents the inequality. After that, now we have to identify the sides to shade and not the ones to shade. So let's identify a coordinate like this one. This is coordinate 3, 5. With coordinate 3, 5, we get to the equation or the inequality. We substitute 3 for x and 5 for y. So 2x is 3 plus y, which is 5. Then we have 6 here. This is going to be 6 plus 5. We have 6 here. This is 11 and 6. How is 11 related to 6? 11 is usually greater than 6. If 11 is greater than 6, but the inequality used is that of less than, then this is not the required side. The required side is the opposite. So this is the side that we don't need. We shed it. We don't need this one because a point picked from that side has not satisfied the inequality. If we had picked a coordinate from this other side, say even a coordinate like this, which is a negative 2, 4, a coordinate negative 2, 4, how will it behave substituted there? It will be 2 into negative 2 and 4. Then we have 6 here. This is negative 4 plus 4. We have 6 here. This is 0 and 6. 0 is automatically less than 6. So if the sample relating the two sides after substituting agrees with the inequality sample, then that is the required side. So this is a required side. This one is automatically a required side. We are finding that it is less than and true because of the inequality. Therefore, check here now. Hence, give one values that suits the inequality. When x is negative 2 and y is positive 4, that's a point. Those are points which satisfy the inequality. We pick any point now on the required side. So that's how we are supposed to answer that part of the question. We are proceeding to this particular good question. I can see the graph is a very perfect square. We are told that two triangles, A and B, are drawn in a grid as shown. Triangles B is an enlargement of A. So A has been enlarged to B. Determine the scale factor of the enlargement. How do we determine scale factor of the enlargement? We can have several methods, but the sure one is we can connect corresponding coordinates. Determine the scale factor of the enlargement. So we can check the number of units covered by corresponding lengths. If this is called A, B, C, then we can now have this one being called A prime, B prime, and C prime. So check a length like A, B, and the image, which is A, B prime. So these are 4 units. We need to talk about 4 units divided by the image, which is 4 units on the image, but 2. So the scale factor is equal to, is equal to 2. We can even check another length like AC. You can see from A to C, 3 units. But for the other case, it is 6 units. So 6 over 3, we still get 2. So we can check the length of corresponding sides will give us the scale factor. The length of corresponding sides would give the scale factor. That's simple. Look at the second part, which is on the grid, mark point X, the center of the enlargement. So we are supposed to connect if it's a point A to A prime, B to B prime, then we prolong all of them. A to A prime and we prolong. See, like that. Then C to C prime and we also prolong. Let me finish prolonging the first one. You're not limited by anyone, you just prolong. C to C prime and you prolong. C to C prime and you prolong like that. Where they are meeting, A prime and C prime, and you can confirm the same point of intersection by bringing B and B prime. They confirm to be meeting. They confirm to be meeting. at the same point. So after they have met, that's our center of the enlargement. We mark it with X. Yeah, we mark it with point X. So that is done. That one is properly done. So we just identified the point of intersection of the connection between points together with the image. Points and corresponding images, you connect. Point, corresponding image, you connect. That way, you will get the points that we need. Can check now the next question. The next question. This is number, sorry. This is number 37. Using a ruler and a pair of compasses only, what are we told to do? We are advised to construct a triangle. We construct a triangle which is AB 6 centimeters, then BC 8, and AC 10. So AB 6, just have your AB. Start with AB, 6 centimeters. So stand at A, then you measure 6 centimeters. Measure 6 centimeters, and you mark off point B, 6 centimeters, like that. Then after that, BC. So from B to C, 8 centimeters. So you stand at B, a radius of 6 centimeters, you make an 8 centimeters, you make an arc. 8 centimeters, like that. Then standing at A, you use 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters to identify C, like that. That becomes our point C. Then you can join it to A and also to B to have your triangle complete. Have your triangle complete. Like this is a 10. This is 8. Then we are required now to measure the angle at B. Measure the angle at B. This one. So I want to show you first, before you place your protractor there to measure, want to first establish the exact value of this. When we take 10 squared, we should get 6 squared plus 8 squared minus 2, 8, and 6, the cosine of the angle at B. Then now, we can have it worked out now. 100 minus 36 minus 64, giving us 0. Then 0 equals to, this is a negative. Oh, I like this. I like this. 2 times 6 times 8, we get 96 cosine of B. Then what we're supposed to check here is that the cosine of B is equivalent to 90. The cosine of B is equal to 0. I don't know why I'm rushing at that point. When it is 0, then we are supposed to know that the value of B shall be the cos inverse of 0. Shift cos 0 will give us 90. Those who have covered trigonometry, they know that the value of the angle at B will be 0. Therefore, we should be able to know now, once you measure this angle, or even before you measure it, sorry for that disconnect, but as you measure, you're supposed to know that this angle shall automatically be 90. So the angle ABC is supposed to be 90. And true, you can see that it's 90 because, exactly 90 actually, because if you check this carefully, with 8, 6, and 10, the sides obey what you call the Pythagoras theorem. 8 squared plus 6 squared, it shall be the same as 10 squared. So the angle at B shall be automatically 90. So the angle here is 90 degrees. Very simple. 90 degrees. Yeah. We proceed to number 38. We are told in number 38 to draw a Cartesian plane showing the x-axis and the y-axis from -5 to 5. Let's say it's both of them. Yeah, let's say it's both of them. So let me draw that. It's from -5 to 5. So I should balance the Cartesian plane so well. This is a y-axis. Then in the x-axis, we need to pass through the center to come up with the x-axis. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So we are through with the Cartesian plane because the instruction was draw a Cartesian plane showing the x and y axis running from -5 to 5. I think we even extended too much here without such an instruction to extend. So that is it. Then we proceed with the instruction, plot the points P, which are 1, 3. P is 1, 3. So here is P. Then Q is -2, -3. -2, -3 is here. Q, -2, -3, yeah? So we have the coordinates. Then draw the line passing through the points P and Q. The line passing through the points P and Q. So we draw the line through P and Q. Let me change the color at that point. Through P and Q. That way. So we have our line. Then with the line, we are also advised to find the equation of the line for 3 marks. How do we find this equation? First, we find gradient. How do we get gradient? Gradient shall be changed in y. -3 minus 3. Those are the two y's. Then change in x, -2 minus 1. -6 out of -3. We are going to get +2. That is the gradient. So we shall express our gradient of 2 now using the first coordinate. Change in y is y minus 3 over change in x, x minus 1. When we cross multiply here, we shall have y minus 3 equals to 2x minus 2 because 2 multiplies x -1. So to remain with y, we'll be having 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1, yeah? So this is now the equation. Very simple. The paper is now done. Thank you so much for finding time to follow up with the Shifting Grades Online School. See you another time.